saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Hey, this is Rick. Join me, Speedy, Adler, and Greg for the Rick Burgess Show on WGNS, weekdays 11 to 2.
The Rick Burgess Show debuts January 6th.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Good morning. This is Bill Krause on the Thursday morning edition of the Roundtable, the WGNS Roundtable. And this morning, I like to turn it over to, quote, a wannabe radio announcer, host, and so forth, who does an excellent job. But most of us know him as the director of schools for the Murfreesboro City Schools. And he brought some of his team here, so I want to turn it over to Dr. Trey Duke. Before I turn it over to Dr. Duke, I'd like to do a shout-out to Lisa Van Cleve in your office, who sent a very, very nice note, and Merry Christmas, Lisa. And I think Merry Christmas to all the men and women that are associated with the Murfreesboro City Schools. So, Trey, it's all yours, and I'm going to give my chair to your right hand in public information, Lisa. And you're going to be introducing two of your wonderful team principals within the school district.
Absolutely. Well, thanks. And I think your job is safe, so don't worry about that. I'll stick to working with schools, and I'll leave the radio up to you guys here. But we're thrilled to be here today, so thanks, Bill, for inviting us here. We love talking about Murfreesboro City Schools, all the great things that we have going on here in our school district, and really proud today to have Lisa Trail with us, our public information officer, who keeps us all in the loop of what's going on. And then, of course, we have two great principals with us today, the principal of the Discovery School, Dr. Caitlin Bullard, and principal of Bradley Academy, Dr. Lewis. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Lisa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you usually speak longer than
That's
that.
right.
So we're going to talk about all things going on in our schools, but first, both of you have just finished your STEAM nights. I want to talk about your schools, but I want to talk about what STEAM nights look like because we talk about it so often, what STEAM is in a school. So I'm going to, Dr. Bullard, let you start.
Yeah, so I think, STEAM nights look a little different every school, but at Discovery School, STEAM nights are a time that we have in our community partners and our parents, grandparents, visitors to really see what students have been learning. And so students have the chance to explain to their family members what they've been learning. They travel throughout the building and see what other grade levels have been learning. They got to go to the STEAM lab last night and code robots and teach their parents and their grandparents how to code those robots, as well as some other interactive activities brought to us by our extended school program.
At Bradley, we're actually doing our STEAM walk as we speak right now between 9 and 10. We're also having a Polar Express pop-in event for our parents. For us, it's a chance for our students to dive deeper into the standards as teachers are working across subject areas and disciplines, to have students solve real-world problems, and really just allow students to just be as creative as they can be as they produce great PBLs, which stands for Project-Based Learning products. Again, as Dr. Bullard said, a lot of integration with our community partners. And it's also an opportunity for our students to work on soft skills, whether that be some public speaking, some great eye contact with those in an audience, or things such as that.
Yeah, one of the things that I get asked most is, do you allow parents into schools? Are parents back in the schools? And I'm like, of course they are. They're there all the time. It may look different than what it did whenever I was growing up, but they're there. It's not only our parents, but it's our community members as well. So both of you have opportunities for students to join you next year. I'm going to, again, start off with Dr. Buller, just because you're the closest to me. Your applications are open now. So can you talk about Discovery and what makes you unique and how your application process works?
Absolutely. So Discovery School is an academic magnet school designed for advanced and gifted students. And so our applications are open. They opened on December 1st and they're open through January 31st. And all of that is on our website. But what really makes Discovery School stand out, in addition to being an academic magnet, we are the only academic magnet elementary school that is STEM designated. We were a level 5 and a reward school last year. We're very proud of that. And we are really such a tight-knit, strong community. Our parents and our families are incredibly involved in the school. They partner with us, and we are just so grateful to have that involvement with our community.
And I want to add to that, Lisa. I think it's really important what she said, and I don't want to gloss over it, and we'll get to Bradley in a second. But, Discovery is such a special place, one, because it's meeting the needs of students who are high achieving. We know that our high achieving students have some unique needs to make sure they continue to grow. And I think that's what's so exciting about what Discovery is doing. Not only, as she said, they had Tennessee Reward School, which is the highest designation you can get here in Tennessee for a public school. But to be a level 5 school means that they're taking those high achieving students and they're growing those high achieving students. So it's a really unique situation where parents who have students who may have those advanced academic needs can take advantage of what we have in our city, and it's just a great place to be. Excellent teachers, excellent administration. We're just so proud of the work that Dr. Bullard is leading there, and would really encourage all families and grandparents, if you have a child that you think, maybe my child may need a little extra push. Maybe my child is doing what I think maybe higher work than is their typical age. Do that application. Go ahead and fill that out. Come in and see the school, meet the teachers, and think about the choices that you have in Murfreesboro City.
Absolutely. And when we talk about Tennessee STEM designated reward school and level 5, we're also talking about Bradley and different application process for Bradley. It hasn't opened yet. We'll be looking at that in the spring. But talk about Bradley and what makes it unique.
So Bradley is just a great community, a large part just because of our wonderful teachers and how much they support and how much they love on our students, while at the same time having high academic expectations for our students. Just as Dr. Bullard was talking about with Discovery, Bradley is also a level 5 school, which is attributed to academic growth, and then also a reward school, which is shows some of the hard work that our students and our teachers are doing with not only academic growth, but academic achievement, advancement with our English language learners, and then trying to decrease our chronic absenteeism percentage as well, because we feel like if our students are in school, our teachers are going to do the great work that they do. What also makes Bradley really unique is that we are a small school. We have small class sizes, and then also about 3 teachers per grade level, so 3 classes per grade level. We are a very close, tight-knit community. We are a zone school to where we do have a zone, but we are also open enrollment. And so we do have a drama program, which makes us unique. And we are, to our knowledge, the only elementary school in Tennessee that has drama as a class during the day. So everyone from our kindergartners all the way up to our 6th graders are experiencing drama classes as a special area class. And then also we put on a production every spring of a musical. And this year we are doing Aladdin Jr., and this opportunity opens up for our 3rd graders and older. And we're excited to see, Jasmine and Aladdin take the stage in the spring.
And, it's interesting because I think there were a couple years during the COVID pandemic where Bradley didn't have that opportunity to do the production. And so last year was really that first year back with The Little Mermaid. And I remember sitting in the audience watching that, just being blown away at what those students are doing. And as someone who was a theater minor in college, that's right, I can appreciate those early experiences for our students and the joy they have. It makes Bradley such a special place. Kind of different from Discovery, though. I think it's important for our parents to know where there is that academic testing to get into Discovery School. There isn't an academic bar per se for Bradley. It's just open enrollment. And you said it's a small school, but and it has that zone population, but about 1/3 of our students there are on zone waivers. And so it's really an attractive school for parents wanting smaller class sizes, experiences with the arts, giving their children an opportunity to get on the stage and perform. Of course, you're located right there next to Patterson Park, so you have that great partnership with Patterson to be able to use their theater to get in there, and it's a great place to be. Also Level 5, also Reward School, and I always say Bradley's kind of the hidden gem in Murfreesboro City. I think maybe because it has such a rich history in our city too, been around for so long, and for people to know the great things that are still happening, like happened so many years ago when the school opened.
Absolutely. So our schools, they just have uniqueness to every one of them. Every school campus has their own personality. I think that's important for parents to really look at whenever they're looking at, and right now we're looking at next year. It's amazing that we're already talking about next year and that enrollment process. But I think it's very important for parents to come and experience those opportunities before their child is there, because Discovery was an absolutely fabulous school for my child. It fit her perfectly. My son, on the other hand, would have been more Bradley. That would have been his personality. And I think that's important, and we need to let parents know on a regular basis, come on in. Springtime, we're going to have these open houses. Come on in. You don't have to be zoned to us, except Discovery. If you don't get your application in by January 31st, there's not an opportunity, because it is a test that they do have to take. But you are having open houses now. In fact, tonight is a Zoom parent meeting.
Yes, we have a parent Zoom at 4 o'clock. And I think in addition to coming in, hearing from the students and staff is so critical. And so on the Zoom this afternoon, we actually have some students that are going to share why Discovery School is so special to them. And I think hearing it from them firsthand is really impactful. So I'd encourage anybody to join us on that.
Absolutely. And I think that's the reason to actually, for those open houses, we have 4 for Discovery, 3 for Discovery.
3. So we have one more in
one
January.
more to come. And then the same thing will happen at Bradley and our other schools in the spring. So it is an opportunity to come inside, to get to know the principal, just to feel the campus. And it's a campus of family. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important. You mentioned it, that we will have other open zone schools as well besides just Discovery and Bradley. We'll release that list in January. We'll start looking at the board. Let me say we'll start looking at that in January as we look at enrollment numbers and where we have space. But we are anticipating releasing that officially in February, so parents can be on the lookout for that. And we would really encourage you to look at those open zones, look at those schools that have seats, and think about, where is the place you want to be. And we are so proud of all of our schools. As you said, they're all unique. They're all different. And so finding the one that's the best fit. And if you go to your zone school, we're super proud of that, and you'll have a great experience there, no doubt, for sure. But I did want to say congratulations to Bradley. We talked about Level 5, but this is the 3rd year in a row they've been a Level 5, which is quite the accomplishment. And so, again, it's really showing the consistent growth we have in that school, which is just really exciting.
Absolutely. I want to break off just a second before I forget and talk about some district news as well, because I really, truly believe the reason our schools are so strong is because we had that strength at the district level. And our instruction staff are amazing, coming in and helping. But one particular supervisor just got the Tennessee Supervisor of the Year. So since you were there, Dr. Duke, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we're really proud of Dr. Kathy Presnell, who is one of our literacy coordinators at the district. She's our 3rd through 6th grade literacy coordinator, overseeing the implementation in all of our upper grades around reading instruction and literacy instruction. Last year, she was nominated as the District Supervisor of the Year, which means she began to work her way through the process. She was then named Regional Supervisor of the Year, and then I guess last week or 2 weeks ago, received the honor as the State Supervisor of the Year, and that is the supervisor that's recognized out of every district across the state of Tennessee. She really does great work. I think our teachers and our principals can really talk about the great work she does in leading all of us forward. We know that in Murfreesboro City Schools, literacy is critical, and it's something we have been hyper-focused on the last few years. And because of that focus, we've seen our literacy rates increase for the past 3 years in a row to heights that we've never had before in the city. And that's super exciting for us. And that's even as some of our demographics have changed, becoming more at risk in certain areas. And so seeing we have students who may have different and new needs, yet we're still able to raise that literacy bar is something we're really proud of. Dr. Presnell has been pivotal to that work, has been incredibly important to that work, as well as our entire instruction staff. So we're excited that she has that honor. But like you said, it's not just Dr. Presnell. She won the award, but all of our literacy and all of our central office instructional staff are just doing an incredible Herculean effort to move student learning forward.
We're having a wonderful visit with part of the team of Murfreesboro City Schools. We're going to need to take a break, but Dr. Duke, afterwards, have your two principals introduce themselves and their background. And why I like to do that is bringing the humanism of our public agencies, bringing the humanism of our schools, that these are real, devoted, passionate, committed people. And I want our community to know them as individuals rather than, oh, I know the principal at Bradley or I know the principal at Discovery. They're real people. So right when we return, I'll give it back to you, Dr. Duke.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
First Shot, growing in Christ with life and athletic skills.
So we teach God's Word at everything we do to implant it in them so that they understand that the only way to get through the world is with God on their side.
First Shot founder and executive director Andy Herzer.
Our focus is on our inner city here at Patterson Park.
From academics to athletics, First Shot's focus is toward building a stronger, more courageous spirit to face opportunities and obstacles that our youth confront every day. To find out more about First Shot, go to firstshottn.org.
Renewable natural gas is an incredible resource with the ability to power your home and lifestyle. At Middle Point, we've broken ground on a state-of-the-art facility that will capture natural gas on-site and repurpose it into sustainable pipeline-quality gas. Once operational, this facility will produce enough energy to heat 40,000 homes per year. Learn more about this at middlepointlandfill.com. For public services, we are sustainability in action.
This Christmas, as you gather with loved ones, take a moment to remember the reason for the season, to give thanks for all of God's blessings, and to honor those who have sacrificed so much for this great nation. Here's a special Christmas message from Senator Marsha Blackburn.
In this time of celebration, let us remember what a blessing it is to be a Tennessean, an American, and to live as children of God in the most extraordinary country in the world. As we celebrate the birth of our Savior, let us always choose to live by His Word, to give thanks to those who serve us all, and to love our fellow Americans. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Marsha for Senate.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
I've got pests, bees, buzzing rodents running all through my house. Ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
WGNS encourages you to do your Christmas shopping locally, especially at the mom and pop stores. And this week brings the final free drive-through Christmas lights at Cannonsburg Village. Yes, it's a free service of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department. You've been enjoying it every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening from 5 until 8. And that's over at Cannonsburg Village, 312 South Front Street, near downtown Murfreesboro. Oh yes, the Red Cross is still critically low on blood. What a great Christmas gift the gift of life would be. Call our local Red Cross and make an appointment to give blood at a time that fits your schedule. Phone 800-RED-CROSS. And our own Rutherford County Public Library System is offering free computer classes. They're over at the Technology Engagement Center on Minerva Drive. The free computer classes are Mondays at 3:30 and other classes Tuesday afternoons at 2:30. Get with the library for more information. And the first day of winter is this coming Saturday morning. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
Skies become mostly sunny here this afternoon, a high of 50 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low near 32. Friday, increasing clouds, a high 42 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 40.
We're powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your friends at MTE. May your holidays be full of light, laughter, and cherished moments. Here's to a joyful season from everyone at Middle Tennessee Electric.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Hello again, Bill Krause in the second segment of the WGNS Radio Roundtable on Thursday before Christmas. You know, I always like to be with a group of educators, primarily from the elementary school world, the week before Christmas, because
it's a fun time, Bill.
The adrenaline is probably very high within the classroom. You're taking them off the walls, I imagine.
Well, there's a lot of programs going on and a lot of kids in pajamas today. There's, this is a good pajama day.
I should have said that the 3-4 of you could have come in your pajamas too. Absolutely. So let me give it back to you, Dr. Duke. Trey, I much prefer to call, as a good friend and certainly a wonderful contributor to this community, and to find out what really makes our principals tick.
Yeah, we have great principals in all of our schools in Murfreesboro City Schools, and it's probably one of the things I'm most proud of is just the caliber of educator that we have in our city who really work so hard. And I think one of the things Bill talked about was kind of your background. So Jeremy, let's start with you. Kind of tell us about your background and how you ended up here in the greatest school district in the state of Tennessee, Murfreesboro City.
Well, it's an honor to be here in Murfreesboro City Schools. This is my 18th year in education. I spent about 5 years working as a middle school social studies teacher in Memphis. That is where I'm originally from. And then moved into school administration with Metro Nashville Public Schools, and was a principal there for 7 years, and now this is my second year to be a principal in Murfreesboro City Schools. So made that journey from secondary school at the middle school level to elementary school, and it's a very unique experience. It's an enjoyable experience. It's wonderful to be able to support our teachers so that our teachers can support our students. So that's my background.
Yeah, that's great. We're thrilled to have you here. I know you have family that's here from the Murfreesboro area, so you're not a stranger to the community, and some family has worked with us in Murfreesboro City before. But we're thrilled to have you and what you're doing there. Dr. Bullard, how about you? Talk to us about what brought you to us.
Yeah, so I have a non-traditional background. I decided to go into education after I finished my bachelor's degree. And I, like Dr. Lewis, I taught middle school, all of the subjects for about 5 or 6 years, and then went into academic coaching. And then came into Murfreesboro City Schools in 2019 as the principal of Case and Lane Academy. Spent a few years doing that, and then took a year in another role, and then came back home to Murfreesboro City, and just so thrilled to be here. I love this district and the people that make it up, and I'm now at Discovery School.
Yeah, and you had that unique perspective of being a principal at 2 schools in our district, 2 different schools, but you've done great work in both of those places. I worked with, I know Case and Lane took them through that STEM designation process, got Case and Lane to the STEM designation, and then just went through redesignation with Discovery. So we're still waiting on the results, but we have very high hopes, and we're very optimistic about that.
And I'll just add on, it's great to be able to work in the community in which I live. I have twin daughters who are 4th graders at Bradley, and it's wonderful to have them at the school with me. They've taken what we might call a little tour of Murfreesboro City Schools. At one point, they were students at Scales Elementary. They were fortunate to be students under the leadership of Dr. Bullard at Case and Lane. They spent a little time at Irma Siegel, and now they're here with me at Bradley. So again, it's wonderful to be dad and principal for my own students, but it's great to be in such a great district and place.
Yeah, we're super proud, Lisa, of our principals, of our staff, and the backgrounds they bring. Because again, we know great schools are made up of great staff, but a core belief of mine is you don't have a great school without a great principal. And these are 2 of the 13 or 14 we have in our district that make up the best in the state.
Yeah, I think it's always important to say how hard these principals work. They have their own community. They're making decisions, and that's one of the things you say, Dr. Duke, all the time. It's the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're running a small city when you're talking about hundreds of students, hundreds of employees, twice as many parents as that you're trying to manage. Everything from leading instruction to fixing a water heater that's leaking and trying to make that work, and or calling the person. I have yet to fix a water heater as a principal, but I did walk in on several leaking at times. So, it just never stops, and it takes someone with heart and with passion to push through and do that good work for kids, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful to say that all three of you have actually had your own children as a principal. I mean, Dr. Duke, as a principal, did you have both?
Both, yes. Both my students.
You've had one because your other one's already passed.
She went to Salem when Dr. Duke was there.
Yeah. And then you have two. So that says a whole lot about you. But how do they interact with you? Because my mom was a teacher and I ignored her. So I'm so sorry to say that. I wish I hadn't now, but I was like, don't talk to me. So
my daughters are great. They interact fine. They wave to me. They come and give me hugs in the cafeteria and things like that. They asked me yesterday, because it was Thursday and it was Wednesday and not Friday, hey, can I buy ice cream today? Because it's not Friday. So there's those opportunities. It's great. But it's also wonderful to know that they are, in the same building with just tremendous teachers. Both of my girls have thrived and flourished at Bradley, and just done a great job with being there with me.
And let's face it, they help you run that school.
They do help. They are go-getters. They know what time I need to be there. They might know if I have certain meetings during the day. So they definitely help me, in the background and things like that.
My oldest was the one that would be okay if I did not come in the classroom when I did my classroom walkthroughs. He would be, and if I did come in the classroom, I definitely could not go and put my hand on his shoulder as I walked by. My other one loved it, right? My other one could not wait for me to walk in. And Nathan, my youngest, still, I think it's just the difference in personalities. Of course, Neil was older at the time, but Nathan still wears the badge of honor that he says he was the first student to ever be inside of Salem Elementary.
Oh, that's
and
true.
That's because right before we opened, I took him over there one night when we were opening that. So it is, I will echo what Dr. Lewis said. I think it was probably one of the best 2 years of my life were having my kids at school with me. It's just a great experience.
I would agree with that. So my youngest, Lucas, he was at Discovery School for his kindergarten year before I came on board as a principal there. And so I was a little unsure how things were going to go when I came and he was starting first grade, but it has been wonderful being able to see him throughout the day, even if we don't wave, or just knowing that the other one is there is really neat. He too thinks that he runs the school sometimes. He did give my attendance secretary a day off last week. So I said, we're going to have to talk about that the week before Christmas. But it's delightful just having him there and knowing what he's doing in class, and him knowing he's going to see me at the end of the day is really special. I was Neil.
Yeah.
Looking back, maybe I should have been more of that, welcoming spirit to my mother instead of being like, please don't acknowledge my presence. But anyway, it is also almost the last day of school.
Yeah.
Almost the last day of school. And at the last school board meeting, we also put out our new school calendar.
That's right.
So for all of you who are getting together for your holiday break and now planning your spring break and your fall break of next year, the school calendar is up on our website. So it's at cityschools.net. All you have to do is click calendar and you can see the rest of the days for this year as well as for the 25-26 school year.
And I think it's really, I want to say thank you to everyone that had so much input on our calendar. Creating a calendar is always a challenge because there are so many competing interests you're trying to balance. And I believe our decisions are better when they're well informed by those who are going to be impacted by those decisions. And of course, that's our families, that's our parents, that's our teachers. So a big shout out to our Teacher Advisory Council that really helped prioritize for us. And then to our parents, we had over 1,300 parents give us feedback on the calendar. We were able to take, of course, we can't meet all the needs, but there were some very clear, overwhelming majority desires that we were able to build into that schedule. So those dates are posted. I always like to point out that when you think about next year, our major dates, which is our first day of school for students, spring break, fall break, and winter break, do align with the county school system. We realize our families have students in both districts. Myself as a family who at one point had students in both districts, or my own children in both districts. And so we want to make sure we can help our parents with that. So all of those major dates align. There are some changes around teacher professional development days that are just a little unique to our elementary only system, but that information is there. And so take it out and start planning those beach trips.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Teacher Advisory Council. Those men and women have really played a huge influence on our calendars and on our budget and lots of other things over the last 3 years that we've had them. So talk about that council and what they do. I know right now they're getting ready to tackle budget.
That's right. So our Teacher Advisory Council is made up of the Teachers of the Year from every school. So all of our schools elect Teachers of the Year in the fall. And the next year, we invite them to serve on our Teacher Advisory Council. And it's really a group that I meet with every month just to solicit questions. What are their challenges? What are they feeling good about? And then really to provide actionable feedback to us as the district. Again, we believe our work is best when it's well informed. And we know that the people who can give us the best feedback are the teachers who are in those classrooms every day doing and the work that is going to lead us to greatness with our students. So they provide input from our 5-year strategic plan. They provide feedback on our budget, on our timeline, our calendar. School safety is something we talk about with them and what we can do to improve in those areas. So we really value that feedback. We value the group, and they've really made a difference in our district.
Okay. So, Dr. Lewis, what have I not asked you about Bradley that we need to talk about?
I mean, we've talked about our drama program. I think we have a great concentration. We are also a Tennessee STEM school, STEAM school. We also have a great concentration on including our arts. I'll just kind of think about our upcoming Aladdin Junior production, in that there is music, of course, right? So we have a music class. In that there are props that are needing to be on stage. If you got a chance to see us at the Murfreesboro Christmas Parade, you saw some of those props. We have a genie lamp. We might even have a Cave of Wonders. But that is work from our teachers, our even some family members of our teachers and our art teacher as well. And then also, there's dancing, there's choreography, there's movement in that. Our PE teacher is supporting in that as well. So just that alignment and working together throughout our special area classes to support something like that. That's an example of just the way that our community comes together to really do what's best for children. With our vision and our direction as being a STEAM school that has that niche with drama.
Yeah, that arts integration is
Correct.
Amazing at Bradley. So, and I know you mentioned music. You also have band. Is that right?
We also have band for our 6th graders.
Okay.
So that is a great introduction for our 6th graders. We actually have the same teacher as who goes to Discovery School, Kathy Waldecker. She does a great job introducing that opportunity for our 6th graders, and the progression and growth throughout the year of those 6th graders is wonderful, from the way that those instruments sound in August to even December. As being a former middle school principal myself, it's great to see that progression, the music throughout the time, and so hopefully that'll set up students well as they go to their respective middle schools, and they might join the band program.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. By the time they actually perform in the MCS Honor Band, they're amazing, and it's hard to believe that they've only been working at that for really about 5 months.
Yes.
So it's amazing. Dr. Bullard, same question for you.
Yeah, I think, there are some unique opportunities that we have being an academic magnet school and being a smaller school in terms of what we can provide our students and our staff as well. One of those is student leadership opportunities. So we have a student house council. We have our house program where every student is sorted into a house in kindergarten and they stay with that group. And so over the course of their 6 or 7 years at Discovery School, they really build some great relationships with other students from other grade levels in their house. And then we have leaders within those houses that are the students that really drive what activities we do and, kind of that traditional student council model, but taking it a step further. We participate in the Amazing Shake, which is run by the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, as you know. And so we send students to that every year, a competition that really focuses on those soft skills, being able to hold a conversation, introduce themselves to someone. And so we build that leadership in all of our students. And that's something that I think is really exciting and unique. And our Discovery School staff really see themselves as leaders as well. And so all of the staff, just about all of the staff at Discovery School has their gifted endorsement, which is a lot of professional learning that goes into that. They are constantly involved in all kinds of other professional development opportunities just to make sure we have the highest caliber staff possible, including, right now one of our focus areas is computer science. So a lot of our staff have participated in state computer science training and are implementing computer science, coding, and robotics on a daily basis and integrating those lessons with the state standards and all of the other things they're teaching to give really unique learning opportunities to students.
So robotics, let's talk robotics because it's very exciting, and it's really exciting as a non-educator to watch it happen. And I think we have robotics teams in the majority, if not all, of our schools this year, which is really good. We also have a beta club in our schools. We have lots of those things that we just have and we forget to talk about them. Yes. But let's talk about robotics and the opportunities that actually brings to our students.
Yeah, so we have a competition robotics team that is 4th through 6th grade, and that's what you referenced, that, many of the schools do have a competition team. And so they build a robot, they code it to perform certain activities, they improve it on an ongoing basis in between competitions. They also compete at the Beta Club Convention every year. And then in addition to that, all of our students have access to robots in some form or fashion, all the way down to kindergarten, starting with bots that they can program just by pressing directional arrows, and then as they get older they learn how to program Ozobots to travel by using colored markers. Then they learn block coding on the computers, and it just escalates, and there are so many opportunities for every student to engage with robotics. It's very exciting to see.
I will say I was at Irma Siegel, I guess it was last week, for their STEAM walk. They invited me to come out, and I was in a 4th grade classroom, and they were talking about food webs and carnivores and the food chain. And as they were describing that to me, they then showed me the robots they had made and coded to have the robot take me through the food chain as well. So it was just a great integration of what we would call more traditional subjects and topics that our families are used to learning about, really mixed with these new robotics and coding skills to make sure kids are prepared for the future that awaits them in the years to come.
Just a few weeks ago, Bradley, our 4th graders had a unique experience leading up to Thanksgiving. So we all know the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. They worked together to design their floats, and the floats went on top of the actual the robots themselves, and then they coded the direction of the robots throughout the hallways. So with a lot of that movement and all of our students as audience members, they got to experience that. And then we also have a robotics team as well, and we've had great opportunity collaborating with, just as an example, students from Central Magnet School have come over and worked with our students with their robotics work. This is our first year to have a robotics team, so we're really excited about that.
I'm amazed at the robotics, and again, it starts in kindergarten and it keeps on going up to the competition. And when we're doing the competitions, we're actually winning, and we're competing with middle schools because there's really not a competition for those elementary schools. So congratulations to our teams. But when you say it, I have to give a shout out to the City Schools Foundation because they have funded so many of these robots to get it started, the B-bots and the Ozobots and things like that, to give that opportunity for us to have more in those classrooms and in our schools. So thank you to the City Schools Foundation.
Well, I think it's important we continue to say thank you. Let me add to that as well. I think it's another reason that makes us such a special district is what the work of the City Schools Foundation does. This group of civic and business leaders who come together. Many of them don't have, or majority of them don't have students in our schools. They're just leaders in the district who understand the value and the importance of public education and taking care of the teachers who are doing the work, and spend a lot of time doing great events, whether it's our tennis and strings tournament that we had in the fall, or the City Schools Foundation Excellence Education Dinner they'll do in the spring, with the purpose of raising money and giving back to our teachers. And it's always a great day when we get to hand out those checks from the foundation.
Always a great day
That's
for that.
Right. Lisa, I think it may be important to talk a little bit about some of the parent involvement opportunities that we have. And we can talk about that from a district level, but I think from a school level, it's really important for our families and our community to know how they can get involved. So Dr. Bullard, talk to us about how parents are involved at Discovery, how grandparents are involved, and what they can do if they want to be more involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very involved parent and grandparent community at Discovery School. We have a PTO with almost 100% participation. So every parent is plugged in that manner, whether it's they're giving their time or they just want the updates as to what's going on in the schools. We have opportunities for parents to volunteer regularly. They can volunteer in the classrooms. They can come read to the class. They can work with small groups of students. And this year we have our first ever Grandparents Club, which has been very exciting. It's called the Trailblazers Club. And those grandparents can come in and be book buddies with students. They can volunteer during lunch duty and things like that. We have great participation at events and always very excited to have our community there with us.
We will be taking a break, but two things just prior to the break. One, Dr. Duke, if you want to give a big shout out to the school board.
That's right.
You know, the men and women who just devote their time and create the atmosphere, the environment, the motivation, and the excitement. And the second item, well, I first have to make a comment on the robotics. One of the schools I'm on the faculty is Montville State, where robotics is extremely, extremely important. And I can certainly reference the amount of faculty there that says they've learned a lot way back in K through 6. So you're setting the foundation. Rather than putting a negative, when we come back from the break with the more recent shooting in Madison, talk about safety of our children, safety of our faculty, safety of our staff in the Murfreesboro City Schools. We'll be right back.
Doug. Limu wanted me to tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. He says because we all like to save a buck. No, okay, he said with the extra cash, you can lease a new truck. Wait, he said he went to middle school with geese and ducks? Actually, I think Limu just said squawk.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Chip Walters here with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. I was named a top 10 agent in the #1 Exit Realty office in America in 2021. The top question I get around town, how's the market? Good question. And the answer's changed a few times this year alone. I'd like to know what you've heard and share some solid data we have. Give me a call and let's have a cup of coffee and take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood. All my contact info is right on my website, choosechip.net. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee, and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Bill Krell's third final segment of the WGNS Radio Roundtable, and I think we have three things we want to talk about before we close. One, a shout out to your board, introduce them, of course, the men and women. Two, and I'd like to say, and every time we have people from our two school districts that serve Rutherford County, Murfreesboro specifically this morning, you know, I am always so impressed. I come from a family that my wife was a teacher for 32 years, elementary. My late brother was a college teacher all of his life and so forth. I teach, so I guess I value education so tremendously. But to see the heart and soul of men and women who devote time, effort, love, passion, commitment to this field. So a shout out, and then I'd like to talk about safety.
Yeah, you know, we have a great school board, and what a privilege it is for us to work with these public servants who have made the commitment to run for this position, campaign for this position, be elected to the position. You know, it's not always an easy board to be on. It's a lot of time. We meet multiple times a week. They probably get more phone calls from me than they would like. Excuse me. But they're a well-informed board trying to make good decisions for our community. Mr. Campbell, Mr. Butch Campbell is our chair. He is, I think, just won his fourth election to the school board. So he's been on since 2008. Again,
you may want to bring him next time you're here. I want to hear some of the history that he shares.
Oh, he has a rich history here in Murfreesboro City,
and
so we will
share it with our audience.
Yeah, we'll definitely extend the invitation. He is no stranger to WGNS. Our vice chair is Miss Amanda Moore, who again she's on her second term as well. We also have Mr. Jimmy Richardson, Mr. David Settles, Miss Karen Dodd, Miss Barbara Long, and Miss Jeanette. Price, thank you. Our newest school board member. I almost said Jeanette Long. That's not right. Excuse me. Miss Jeanette Price, who is our newest school board member on as well. And again, they work really hard. They do good work for our city, and they do good work for our students. I just appreciate the opportunity to work with them every day.
And they have to have a love for children.
Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely.
So let's, within all this positiveness that we've been hearing the last minutes of the show, the seriousness of safety.
Yeah.
And, you know, the tragedy, when you read each case, in the Madison case, very similar to the terrible experience we experienced in Nashville last year.
Yes.
And to hear that a 15-year-old girl is the one that generated the shooting. And, you know, you begin to say, what's happened? But safety within our schools, not only physical safety, but psychological safety.
Yeah, and you know, we want our schools to be safe places, and we want our students to be able to come to school every day knowing that they're in a place where they're loved, where they're cared for, and where they're going to be okay. And we also want our parents to know that when they put their child on the bus or when they drop their child off in the car rider line, that they're going to be there safe and sound when they get back. And so we know that is our top priority. It's our top responsibility to our community. Our parents give us their most prized possessions every day, and we want to make sure that we understand and we take care of that responsibility. So we have a lot of proactive things we put in place. Of course, we don't talk about specifics of our security system, but I will say our board, we just talked about, has committed a significant amount of our budget to making sure that our schools are secure, they're safe. I know sometimes that can be frustrating for parents because we don't just let people walk into our buildings. We make sure that we know when they're coming, why they're there, and sometimes that can be a little bit of a headache, but it's something that we're not going to apologize for. At the end of the day, we have to know who's coming in our buildings, and we have to make sure those students are safe. So that's part of it. Of course, we have a excellent partnership with Murfreesboro Police Department. They've committed and they have SROs in every building that we have. They have a strong base of substitute SROs and floaters that go to make sure that our schools are covered. And that probably is the biggest and most important security measure we have, is knowing that there is a police officer walking the halls of our schools, hopefully never having to react, but if they need to react, they can react. Lisa, did I forget anything?
No, I think that it's just on the forefront of our mind.
Yeah.
We do have, someone who really oversees our safety for the district and works closely with Murfreesboro Police Department. So it's one of those things, again, we just don't share a whole lot about it, but it's not that we're not talking about it.
And I will say it's not just in our schools, it's on our school buses. We have bus aides on the majority of our school buses to help provide extra set of eyes there. So we want to make sure that our students are safe bus stop to bus stop from the first time they step on that bus through their school day so they get off in the afternoon. And like Lisa said, constant conversations we're having. And every time there's an event, like with the tragedy that just happened in Wisconsin, we stop, we reflect. Is there something that we can learn? Is there something we can do as a school district to help make sure that our schools are even safer than they were yesterday?
I think go ahead, Lisa.
I think one of the things that we kind of overlook, because we're always talking about these large safety issues, but there's many more times that we're needing just on an individual safety issue. So our nurses are amazing, and there is a nurse in every school, and they are treating the emergencies that happen with children and our staff members. So I don't think we give them enough of that credit for what they do daily to make sure our kids are safe and that they know have their medicine that they need to take on time, or if it is an emergency that they know when to call.
I think the one thing that I think almost traumatized the police chief of Madison, Wisconsin, was the first 911 call was put in by a second grader. And can you imagine a child in the second grade with his little cell phone calling 911 that there's shots being fired? I mean, that stuck with me. Talk also about the future of the Murfreesboro City Schools. Growth, difference in demographic, how you're responding to it, etc. And you've got a great future, and you're certainly a great segment of this community.
Well, we're proud of the work we've done. We're proud of the future that's in front of us. We feel like the best is yet to come for our district. We are growing. We're up about 53 students from the beginning of the school year just in this first semester, and typically we grow actually a little more in the second semester. So we know that we're growing. There's a lot of growth coming to our city, and so we work closely with our city council and with the planning department at the city hall to make sure we know where growth is coming and how we can respond to that. But we just want to keep improving. You mentioned we're becoming more diverse. We're becoming more diverse demographically, whether it's racially or economically, and so we want to respond to that to make sure we're meeting the needs of our district. And that's sometimes a challenge because our district is so diverse. So both Dr. Bullard's school and Dr. Lewis's school are some of our smaller schools with around 350, 375 students. And then we have schools with over 1,000 students in them. Very large. Those have different needs. And so we want to make sure we respond and meet all of those needs. And regardless of where a family goes in Murfreesboro City, we want them to be proud of that school. We want them to feel like they're being taken care of in that school. We know and we believe that strong public schools make strong communities, and you cannot have a strong city, you cannot have a strong community if you don't have strong public schools. And so whether or not you have children in our school system, it is to everyone's interest that we have strong public schools. We feel like we have that. We know we have that in Murfreesboro City, and we are committed to the responsibility to keeping them strong public schools.
One of the most important questions that you as director of schools are faced, along with any other director of schools, and I know we spoke about that in the past when you've been here. Talk about how you make the decision. Will the school close or not for snow day?
Well, it's real easy. If you're happy,
do your children influence you?
If you're happy with the decision, I made it, and if you are not happy with this decision, Lisa Trail was the decider on that. No, it really is a partnership, and it's something. It's always hard to make that decision when you have almost 10,000 students representing all of those families with different needs. There is no shortage of opinion on whether or not we should be in school that day. But at the end of the day, we're going to be in school as long as we feel like that our buses can safely transport our students to school. And if our buses can safely transport them, we want them in school. Now, here's the thing with the weather, is that it changes, and they make great forecasts and great predictions, but we always want to try and balance. Our parents need to know quickly so they can make plans without jumping too quickly out in front of it, and then something doesn't progress like they think and it would have been safe. So it's not an easy call to make, but we have great partnerships, again, whether it's with our streets department, calling the police and seeing what's being reported on the roads, our transportation, our operations team, seeing what they're seeing. And then ultimately, when the team decides this is what we're going to do, Lisa makes those calls. It's your favorite part of the job, right?
4:30 calls.
Do you communicate with the county, Rutherford County schools?
Yes, we do. We
coordinate with the
yes.
county.
And we do to an extent, right? We don't match per se because they're obviously looking at a much more vast, different geographical area. So if there may be something happening in Eagleville or Laverne or Smyrna they would need to go ahead and close schools. That in Murfreesboro, again, looking at our city streets and our city street department getting out there cleaning the streets, we feel like it's okay for our buses to travel. So we don't always match, but we do have communications just out of courtesy to say, hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys looking at? So we just keeping each other aware.
Back to the safety issue one more time. Tornadoes.
Yeah.
Do you have a program? Certainly you do. And in terms of tornado warning, tornado alert, etc., and the process with the children in the school.
Yeah, so we do. And Dr. Ball, I'll let you talk a little bit about what that looks like when we get those tornado warnings in schools.
Yeah, absolutely. So we practice the tornado drills just like we do any other drill in the schools, like fire drill or anything else. And, depending on the building layout, there's always a plan for a safe place to put the children away from the doors and windows, and they know where that is.
Good.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Has that made its impact into K through 6?
It's coming there. And we had a conversation earlier this week talking about, it's happened very rapidly. We think it's going to continue to impact us rapidly, and we want to be prepared for it. So right now, I think the places we're using it most is mostly with our staff, right? Mm-hmm. Looking at how we can make our jobs more efficient from the adult perspective first. And that's largely due to the age of the students that we serve in the city, only going from pre-K through 6th grade. So right now our focus is as adults, how can we use it? How can we be more efficient with it to do our jobs? It is a great tool, but there's still a lot we all have to learn about it. Our board did take some action and has adopted a policy about the use of artificial intelligence in our schools. So our board has already taken action on that. That's really going to guide how we work and how we use it. But I do anticipate in the years to come, it's going to be something very quickly that becomes part of our students' lives, just as it is part of our lives as well.
As we conclude, we're not going to let you get off the hook, both Lisa and Trey. A little bit about yourselves. Who are you, where you were born, where you grew, where you were raised. So, Lisa, do you want to begin?
Sure. I actually am from Cannon County. I was raised on a dairy farm. I have been in Murfreesboro since most of my adult life. I did go and live in Winchester for about 8 years for a job opportunity there. I have 2 kids, and one of my first jobs in college was here at WGNS. So
wow. I had waited for you to say that.
Yeah, so I did several years here. They actually helped me get through college. Bart Welker and Leanne were amazing to me, and still I consider them just incredible mentors.
One day we're going to just have to have you, Lisa, and talk about what you remember about your days at WGNS.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-oh. We are visual also.
That's right.
And Dr. Duke, you bring such an energy level and you bring such an enthusiasm. I think you're the poster, I won't say poster boy, poster man for the educator of today and tomorrow.
Well, the older I get, I'll take boy, because I feel like this morning as I was brushing my hair and seeing more gray in my hair, it's happening fast. But, it's such important work that we're doing. And we are so proud of that work in Murfreesboro City. And as a parent who has two children in the county schools, one at Rockville High School and one at Rockville Middle School. They've, again, aged out of the city schools into the county schools, and so proud of the work they're doing as well. And we just have a lot to be proud of here in our community when it comes to education, and I hope that we can remember that. And I just want to say thank you to our teachers, to our bus drivers, to our school cafeteria workers, to our EAs, our MDAs, our central office staff, the classroom teachers, the principals, everyone that's working so hard every day to make sure that every child in this community has a great experience and is taken care of. And that's really going to set our city up for great success for years to come.
And the custodians and the bus
that's
drivers.
Right. We need everybody.
Absolutely. Everybody. Well, this is the last program before Christmas, so I want to close by wishing each and every one of you a very, very merry and blessed Christmas. and certainly a wonderful New Year's 2085. I'm one of those optimists who believe that we have a real banner year coming ahead for us in so many areas. I personally want to thank Dr. Trey Duke and his wonderful team, and look forward to having you, as we've said before, every quarter. So you'll be getting another invite around March time, and we'll talk about springtime in Murfreesboro City
And I'll bring
schools.
Chairman Campbell with me. It'll be great fun.
I think that would be super. Have a wonderful holiday. Be safe, be happy, be well.